How's it going, everybody? It's Yong here, and welcome to a quick Death Stranding news update. The following information comes from Hideo Kojima's Twitter, through which he recently tweeted about his latest behind-the-scenes shenanigans. So this stuff actually happened around a week back, but I figured it was worth bringing to your attention anyway. So let's go back a week to October 18th, 2016, during which it became quite apparent based on Kojima's Twitter feed that he was currently in the USA, actively moving from location to location and meeting up with acquaintances. One of the first places that he visited was Valve headquarters in Bellevue, Washington, apparently as part of his collaboration with Kyle Cooper and his company Prologue, which specializes in motion graphics and things like title sequences. Prologue also established a subsidiary called Prologue VR, which, like the name states, deals in virtual reality, and Kojima's actually a part of the advisory board for Prologue VR. So Kojima meeting up with Kyle Cooper at Valve was apparently related to that. Now, if the name Kyle Cooper sounds familiar to you, that's because he made the title sequences for games such as Metal Gear Solid 2 and 3, and he also designed Death Stranding's font and logo, so he's very much involved in Kojima's upcoming new title. Knowing this, it makes me wonder if Kojima's involvement in Kyle's Prologue VR signifies plans for Kojima to implement some virtual reality features in his upcoming new title. PlayStation VR came out recently, and PlayStation Pro is coming out very soon. And with Kojima Productions partnering with Sony to make their new project happen, I'm sure Sony will jump at any opportunity to promote their new VR headset by implementing virtual reality features in some of their exclusive high-profile titles like Death Stranding. But it's important to note that a mutual agreement for their exclusivity partnership was that Sony would not interfere with Kojima's work. So the only way VR will be implemented is if Kojima sees a good fit for it in his new game. It's all still up in the air, but I do know Kojima has been constantly expressing his interest for the future of VR, and by the time Death Stranding launches, I think it's a fair assumption to make that the technology will become advanced, mainstream, and cheap enough to make its implementation worth it. But again, we'll see. Following Kojima's visit to Valve, Kojima's next destination was Sucker Punch Studios, which also resides in Bellevue, Washington. And according to his tweets from October 18th, it has been 9 months since he last visited the studio. Why do I feel the need to share this information, you guys ask? Well, if you recall in one of my previous videos, I reported that according to one of my insider sources, the game engine that Hideo Kojima used to create Death Stranding's trailer was none other than the Sucker Punch game engine, which was used to create some truly gorgeous titles like Infamous Second Son. When Kojima first unveiled Death Stranding's trailer at E3 2016, while Kojima didn't divulge the exact engine he used to create it, he did hint that the trailer was running in real time and that the engine he used was one of 2 engines that he was considering for the game. At that point, he was still performing tests to help him decide which engine, the one he used for the trailer or the other one he was considering, was best suited to bring his vision to life. It was only after Tokyo Game Show 2016 that he finally announced he had settled on an engine. Unfortunately, while my source is confident that the Sucker Punch engine was indeed used to make the reveal trailer, it is still unknown whether Kojima decided to stick with the Sucker Punch engine or if he changed his mind and went for the other one he was considering. And that's where these latest tweets come in. My train of thought is that based on Kojima's recent activities, the most likely scenario is that Kojima did in fact end up settling with Sucker Punch's engine. I just find it curious that out of all of Sony's studios he could have advertised to have visited, he decided on Sucker Punch. His behind-the-scenes meeting with Kyle Cooper makes sense when you consider that Kojima is part of the board of advisory for Prologue VR, and when you consider that Kyle Cooper's involvement in Death Stranding is as good as confirmed. But where does Sucker Punch come into play in all this? My theory, Kojima visited the studio to give them an update on the latest developments of their game engine and how it was being utilized to create Death Stranding. Now, do keep in mind that although my source's information and Kojima's recent actions seem to align, that hardly means that anything is confirmed. I would still be more cautious than optimistic and take everything in this video with a grain of salt, but at the same time, I think there's enough substance here that it wouldn't hurt to keep this possibility in mind. One last thing I would like to point out before concluding this video is that throughout his tweets on October 18th, Kojima was once again wearing the red hoodie with the gray interior that actor Mads Mikkelsen likes to wear. For those who don't know Mads, he's a high-profile Hollywood actor best known for his role as Hannibal Lecter in the show Hannibal. and he's currently starring in some really big movies such as Marvel's upcoming Doctor Strange, where he plays Caecilius, as well as the upcoming Star Wars Rogue One, where he's playing the father of Jyn Erso, the protagonist of the movie. For those who haven't seen him in any movies yet, trust me when I say that he's an awesome actor who always brings about an air of intrigue and charisma with him in every role he plays. So his involvement in Death Stranding would definitely be a big win. So hopefully Kojima's constant tweets of himself wearing one of Mads Mikkelsen's favorite hoodies is indication of the actor's involvement. But all we can do now is wait and see to find out whether Death Stranding will indeed implement VR, whether it will use the Sucker Punch game engine, and whether Mads Mikkelsen really is involved. With that, I would like to conclude today's Death Stranding news update. Thank you for tuning in. Let us know in the comments below your thoughts and theories on these topics, and to be further updated on all things Death Stranding, stay tuned right here on Young Yeah. I'll see you guys next time. Young out!